And we're recording. Hey, good
Hi,
morning.
Cynthia.
How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Really good. Really good.
Good.
So I see you're at the store today.
Today I'm at the store. Yeah, and I have this beautiful background of Eden, or sorry, Epic Yarn behind us. And I have to tell you, I've been petting the alpaca this morning.
Ooh, yes. Yes. That would
He's
be a
so
nice. So,
cool. So pretty.
yeah, so we're going to talk about the MKAL today. And so if people, people really love this project, they could do it in El Rio, the alpaca version, couldn't they?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking I would love to do it in the cream, just something really neutral and just have it all cream with the stitch patterns that we've been doing. I think it'll look lovely.
Yeah, I think it would be really nice in the wrap too. It'd be a real cozy snuggle around your shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and so soft.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, so we are on, what is this, week 3 of
Yeah,
the Mystery Knit Along, and we're releasing 2 new patterns today,
mhm.
sections 5 and section 6.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
very exciting, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm hoping that everybody has had a good time so far. I know some of the patterns weren't too hard, but some had some confusion to them. A
Mm-hmm.
little
Yeah.
bit, right?
We had a couple of people write in and ask us some questions about the total length of the project and
Mhm.
about blocking. If you block it, will that make it longer or wider? What do you think about that, Barb?
Well, I designed the pattern so that it would be for the scarf 72 inches long, and the shawl, I believe, is 86. And so I designed it in different lengths because we're using different stitch patterns. I thought some were a little smaller pattern, so the section might be a little bit shorter. Some were a really long pattern where you had 20 or 22 rows of pattern, and I felt like it needed more length to show that off. Now, know that I'm not stuck on this, you guys. You don't have to do it exactly like we've written it. In fact, this is a perfect pattern to modify. So if you feel like you want your section to be a little shorter or you're just done with that pattern, go ahead. You can always add in one of these pattern repeats at the end of the scarf or the wrap, right? You could go back and do section 1 again if you needed a little bit more length. So this is totally, modifiable. This is something that, you decide what you want to do and what you want to make it look like.
Those are really good points, Barb. And I think the other thing that was occurring to me when you were talking about that is that in one of these patterns that we're working on today, you say like you can work the pattern repeat so many times or to so many inches, and if you're going to stop with the completion of a wrong side row. And I think that would probably apply to any of the pattern repeats in this project.
That's right. They're all of these patterns when you start them out start on the right side. So if you end with the wrong side row, then you're right ready to go with a right side row.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. And I like your suggestion too about just going back and doing section 1 at the end of your scarf if you want to make it a little bit longer, because then if you were to put the scarf around your neck and have the 2 ends down, they're kind of matching. But also that's one where it only had, what was it, 2 or 4 rows. So, it's you don't have to repeat it for the full length if you don't want to.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, perfect. So let's talk about section 5 of this pattern. I think this pattern was called Matrix. Is that correct?
That's right. This one kind of reminded me, the movie, like this one was little boxes, and
Yeah.
they were all, it was kind of like you were in one box at one time and one box at another time. And so my husband and I were just joking about it, and Mario said, "You should call it the Matrix." So,
Well, I'm going to show mine because
okay, great.
this was a pattern. Here we go. This was a pattern repeat that I did without seeing the picture. So it was really a mystery for me. in that I was just following your instructions and knitting it, and I was really pleased with the way that it turned out.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed this pattern too because there were some rows where you were just purling right across the back, and it was kind of a really relaxing knit.
Yeah, I'm going to show the back side here because the back side has an interesting pattern as well,
It does. It really looks nice from the back. That could almost be the front.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. So this was a really fun pattern, and again, the nice thing about doing this, Barb, is that if you wanted to make a scarf out of any one of these patterns, wouldn't that be nice? Like this would make a really nice repeatable pattern. You could put this on a sweater. You could put it on a hat. You could put it on another scarf.
Yes, I challenge everyone to make pillows. You could make 7 different pillows. There's going to be 7 patterns in total. And wouldn't that be fun for the face of a pillow?
That would be really fun. Yeah. So with the matrix, there wasn't anything terribly complicated about this one, right?
No. In fact, the actual pattern when it came from the book was written where you knit row, I think it was 2, and you do the same thing on row 4 and 6. And so the instruction was written that way. So I changed it so that I wrote out every row, and that was really helpful because I could use my removable tape and just do it row by row. So that kind of helped. I didn't make any mistakes when I did it that way.
Right. That's a really good point. And that's a very thoughtful thing for you to do. Sometimes we get customers who come into the store and they've made mistakes, and we talk to them about cheat sheets, where that's what you do. You kind of write out, at least you write out the numbers of the rows and you check them off as you do them. But yeah,
Mhm.
by writing out each row, Barb, I think you do us all a kindness so that we know what row we're on, and we don't have to your eye doesn't have to skip back to a previous row.
Well, believe me, these are times when we need all the help we can get.
True enough. True enough. Okay, let's talk about section 6, and this one is it called
Diamonds and lace.
Diamonds and Lace, right? And this one requires the cable needle.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Or you could cable just, like transfer the stitches on your needle, right?
Yeah, so I did that. Let's see, for the cable back, I would take the stitch off the needle, hold it with my left hand, knit the next 2 stitches, and then slip it back on and knit that 3rd stitch. And then for the cable front, I inserted my needle into the back and into that 3rd stitch, and then knit the first 2 stitches. So these are some little tricks that you can do to cable without a needle. But if you've never cabled before, probably the easiest thing to do is to pull out your cable needle and just put that 1 stitch to the back or to the front as per
Yeah.
the instructions.
I would suggest that if you're a new knitter, you use a cable needle. If you're experienced, I would say go and Google cabling without a cable needle because it's so much fun. I love it. I learned it when Fiona Ellis was teaching classes here, and it was so much fun to do it. It was so freeing. It felt like your needles were kind of like parallel to each other. You were just slipping stitches from one needle to the other
Mhm.
and transferring them. So you were kind of making the cable before it was actually made and then knitting. And it was just so cool. I
Yeah.
love cabling now so that I can try and cable without a cable needle.
Yeah, you're right. It's a kind of a liberating thing. Or, if you're just lazy like me and you don't want to get up and find your cable needle, it's kind of nice to be able to do it without it.
That's true. This pattern, I think, looked really pretty too. It was a cable pattern without really the traditional cable background. So it was kind of like a diamond. It had this, and it had a little bit of lace in it. Oh, thank you, Cynthia,
Sure.
for putting
Yeah.
it up there.
Yeah. Yeah, so keep telling us about this, Barb, because
Okay.
we noticed that there were some. The one big difference about this one is that it does have a stockinette background, and there are some challenges when you're doing. There's some challenges when you're doing cables to have a stockinette background. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Right. Well, it's not usual. I mean, usually your cable's surrounded by pearl stitches, and that's what helps that cable pop off the surface of the work. So it stands up and it looks really pretty. I love this pattern because it had both elements. It had this, it wasn't really a cable, it's more like a twisted stitch, but it had this um, faux cable and it had lace. And I thought this is really nice because this combines both. For someone who's a new knitter, you kind of get both um, things to practice on at the same time. And then the slip stitch was a really interesting way to do a cable too. I think Cynthia, you had a great way of describing that. Do you want to talk to that?
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit earlier about you know why you needed a slip stitch in this particular pattern. So in this pattern, you'll have a couple of rows where you're slipping two stitches without knitting them, and you'll hold the yarn in the back, so you have a little cross in the back. And it seemed like, well, why and why are you doing this? But it's to allow the cable to pop off the field of the stitches, right? So if you didn't have those slip stitches, your cable or faux cable, whatever you want to call it, but that wavy line in there would just kind of flatten out and disappear.
That's right. And I have to share with you, Cynthia, when I first started knitting this, that's how I did it. I didn't know that those stitches should be slipped because the little symbol in the knitting dictionary, and this dictionary is really old. I think it came from this, it's from the 70s or 80s. But the charting instructions were not that clear. I had to actually knit it for an inch or two before I actually saw, something's not going right with this. And that's where I went back and kind of figured out that, oh, those two stitches need to be slipped.
Right.
So it was great learning for me.
Yeah. Do you want to show us your sample?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let me find it here. Here we go. So I'll just hold it up in front of the camera. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So like at the bottom of it, it is a little bit flat. See, like when it comes around this corner, and then as I started understanding the instructions a little bit better, I got into slipping those stitches and the cable just started to rise up. Did that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also, shows us how much work how much work it is to do a mystery knit along.
You just have to have a little bit of lead time and, nothing else on your plate, right?
That's exactly right. Yes.
You need to be at home a lot.
Yes, although we are not at home a lot, are we?
No, we're not, but I have to tell you, we're not bored. Right? I take the early shift at the store and do mail orders, and you take the afternoon shift and help with curbside. And then in the evenings, we design, mystery knit-alongs.
Yes. Well, and answer emails and answer phone calls and answer text messages and social media stuff. And you know what? I was thinking about it the other day. This is a totally brand new way of connecting with our customers because
Mm.
normally a lot of our customers would come into the store and we catch up on, what's new in their lives and what projects they're working on. And now we get that by phone or by email or by Instagram posts. And so
Yeah.
I want to encourage everybody to take some photos of your mystery knit along project and post it up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use. But show us some photos of your projects because we'd really love to see those. Because again, they're not coming in the front door anymore.
That's right. Yeah. Please do so. I think our hashtag is hashtag RCY MKAL.
I think that's right. But I will make sure to post it in the show notes just below our video here to remind everybody what those hashtags are. But yeah, keep sending in the photos. We'd really, really love to see that.
We would, yeah. And that's about it, I think, for Diamonds and Lace, isn't it, Cynthia?
Yeah. So again, this one, these two, number 5, the Matrix is a relaxing one. Number 6, Diamonds and Lace, has a little more challenge to it, and there are some additional knitting abbreviations that we explain in the pattern. But keep with it, give it a try, and you may find, I noticed on mine that my work puckered up a little bit as I was doing it because the cables pull on the fabric this way as well as this way. And so know that when you block this, you can straighten that out and smooth out that fabric. And so next week when we come back with pattern number 7, we'll also come back with some blocking tips. Tell you how to finish off your project.
Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. So we've got one more week left to go, and then we're done.
And we're done.
Sorry.
On to the next KAL.
Yeah.
And I think this one might be a CAL KAL.
A crochet along?
I think so. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
1 week at a time. Let's finish off one KAL before we start a next one, right?
All right. Well, the crocheters are going to be so happy.
Yeah, I have some ideas. I'll chat with you about them offline, and so we'll get going on that one next.
All right. Well, before we sign off, you have to chat. We have to talk about what we're wearing.
Oh yeah. So, how do you like my shawl?
I love that shawl. You know that I knit that one for you.
I do. So this is Eden. It's gorgeous and warm and cozy, soft. And the name of this shawl is Elowin, I believe.
That's right. This pattern came to us because we had kits last summer from Fleece Artist. They did it with their Casbah base, and I loved it so much that I had to make one. And then it was the perfect color for you, Cynthia.
Yeah, well, in the days of COVID, I can't get my hair touched up. So I think now, that now even more so, the shawl contrasts nicely with my hair. Makes me feel like there's more purple in my hair than there is right now.
That's right. It's a lovely little shock of color, isn't it? And it's just what we need because it still isn't spring here in Edmonton.
No, it's not. And it was, I'm in my kitchen and it was just a little chilly with the window open. So I had to put on a shawl. And
nice.
How about you? What have you got on there?
Well, I'm wearing Han. I love this sweater. This is a shibui pattern, and it's just a nice kind of square sort of shape and with a V-neck, and I just love it. It's made out of pebble and sema, I believe. I think I might need a second one. I'm just really kind of craving Julie Hoover's new color Rose. Have you seen that one? We're completely sold out of it, but I think we might have to get a little more.
You can see it online.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
I love the fit of the sweater. It's really, really nice.
Yeah. So this one was originally designed to be used with Shibui Pebble and Shibui Silk Cloud. And we subbed out Silk Cloud with Sema because we wanted to have something that was a little smoother.
Yeah.
And we love
fabric. The fabric that it makes, Cynthia, is just beautiful. It's got exactly the right amount of weight to it. It hangs really nice. It's not, too light. It's not too heavy. Yeah. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And it looks great on you. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love this color too. Yeah. You picked a great color because this one was supposed to be yours.
So that's Han, H-A-H-N. Yeah.
Yes. Or is it H-A-A-N?
No, H-A-H-N.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But we'll put a link to it in the show notes in case anyone's interested in that one as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I'm really interested in feedback this time. You know, if you guys are knitting and you've got any sort of questions, any ideas for us for, what to do with this? Should it be a pattern? I don't know. Let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Barb.
Mm.
Yeah, and thanks so much again for putting all the work into this one. This is a lot of test knitting and swatching, and I think on behalf of everyone who's joined in, I want to say thank you for taking the time to do that.
Oh, you're so welcome, and thank you for doing all the editing. You are really good at the technology side of it, so you put it into a pattern format for us and got it all working so that it's easy to follow in an instruction format.
Oh,
Thank you.
no worries, no worries at all. All right. So happy knitting this week, everybody. Let us know your comments, and we'll see you in another week. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.